see if we are live. Happy Legit Kit BOM Day. Yay. Right, let's see. Oh, we've got some things popping up over there. Hi, Ron. Hey, Russ. Welcome back again to everybody that was here earlier for the shortened brunch. Happy to see some familiar faces back. Hi, Shelly and Ingrid. Excellent. Hello, CS number 4. How are you doing, Donna? I'm hoping that some of the video and audio stuff that was happening earlier has worked itself out. If not, we are just gonna plow on through. Today is apparently one of those days, and it's gonna be what it is. But we're gonna get through because it is Legit Kit BOM Sunday, and I'm so excited to get into these colors, these beautiful oranges, adding some very cool colors to what we've been doing the past couple of months. Oh, Irish, awesome! Welcome! Hey, Priscilla. Wait, Ingrid's saying no audio? Really no audio? Oh wait, then she said, just kidding. Hi, Tammy. Hey, Marianne. All right. Shelly S. Happy to see everybody coming in. We're going to do a little housekeeping once we see some more folks. If the audio is acting weird again, I'm not sure what to do about that. Or the delay. Yep. It's just one of those days. Y'all are just gonna have to buckle in. Technology is not my friend today. If you'll see, if I go to this camera, it's all sketchy. I have no idea what's happening. Don't know why it's so wonky. No clue, but see, then it'll catch up and then it looks clear. But if I do this, it goes wonky again. Honestly ready to toss all technology into the ocean and go back to the bartering system and just give you guys some seashells and be all good. But hi Melissa. I cannot tell you. There is nobody here. No one's on the internet. I've reset the internet. It's Comcast, so if any of y'all have Comcast, you know that Comcast is the devil. We had a couple of months where everything worked together perfectly, and it was so peachy and beautiful. And then this past couple of times, I've wanted to punch a baby. Y'all are about to see a grown woman throw a tantrum about this technology, but we're gonna muddle through. So I had mentioned some housekeeping, so I'm gonna start showing some pictures, and that'll make the picture that YouTube is showing hopefully a little prettier. So first things up in the housekeeping piece is let me do this. Is our Tuesday night is our 2-color quilt challenge. We're also on month 3 with that, with the 2-color quilt challenge. So here live on my channel Tuesday night from 6 to 6:30. It's going to be a super quick. It's the 4th of July, and so if you watch the replay, that is cool too. But we're gonna choose the next 6 cards to vote on for what our 2 blocks for month 3 will be to work up in the 2-color quilt challenge. So that's Tuesday live here back on my channel, and then that'll be on Zoom because it'll be with Stephanie. So this will be a new challenge to overcome. We'll also have a little bit of a trunk show. We'll show off everybody's month 2s as they've had them finished and that they've shared them with us. So I'm very excited about that. So that is this Tuesday. Very quickly coming is our Carnival PMQ, the Puzzle Mystery Quilt. Oh, cat's trying to get squirrels. Month 1 will be sewing up on August 5th, live. It's a Zoom and YouTube live. If you want to join the Zoom, we'll send you a Zoom link, and you just have to email me. My email will be in the description below, but you shoot me an email, and then you'll be on the list to get the Zoom invitations. If you have an ambassador that you have followed and you're going to give them the credit and get the discount for your ambassador, which I can't remember what that is, please feel free to do that. You can still join us for the sew along. Just heard from Russ earlier today that he wants in on all the fun that we're doing each month. So we will be, again, August 5th, 5 p.m. Eastern on Stephanie's channel. And then in a couple of Saturdays from that, we'll be back to Village Green week. And that's 5 p.m. Eastern on Stephanie's channel again. So we're going to have 2 weeks each month for the next 5 months-ish. Yeah, 5 months. 5 or 6 months to finish up Village Green, where we'll be doing cotton cuts, which is really a lot of fun. Hey, everyone that's coming in. Oh, Shelly, you have Comcast too? It's the worst. I'm so stressed. Well, as stressed as I get. When we're done, I'll scream and cry a little bit, and then I'll get to the problem solving and figure out what I'm going to do to fix this. This is just a new obstacle to get over, and I'll get it taken care of. We'll figure something out. Yeah, the next cotton cuts is going to be exciting. I'm really excited. I got 2 colorways. Fudge. I shouldn't have mentioned them because now I can't remember which I went with. The steampunk, which I think is Ferris wheel, and the blue, but not the sail away. Sail away because that's legit kits. Anyway, a blue one. I'll remember by the next time what their titles were. Pretty stuff though. I'm so excited about them. So I did too. If you have not seen, I have, because I'm a gadget gal. I love gadgets. I love all things gadgets. I had done a demonstration on Fallon of So Be It Quilts. She and her husband Matthew and family work very hard at the Quilter's slide lock, and I did a demonstration earlier on how I use both of them. I was able to make technology work for me in that I did a voiceover, which was a lot of fun, and some, like sped up portions of that video. That was fun. So if you wanted to take a look and see what all the Quilter slide locks are about, I have a demo out there and would love for you to take a look. And it tells you all the details about how to find the Quilter slide locks. There's a bundle and the 2 different sizes, the 24-inch and the 14-inch, and why I would recommend one or the other or both to any new quilter or sewer or experienced ones. So I hope that you would take a look at that. No, Russ, I don't think anybody likes Comcast. But up here in Frederick, it's literally the only choice. We have no other choice. Well, I guess we could do, what is it, DirecTV, the satellite. But I've not heard good things about satellite internet either. So, last piece of housekeeping, which is going to be a great tie-in to us doing the Legit Kit Block of the Month, is I have been keeping true to my word, and I've been working diligently on the Legit Kits, the Mini Rose. This is the Block 2, and I finished her. Every time I look at her, I just love it so much. I love how the rose just looks like a faceted jewel. It's so pretty. I can't wait. I am well on my way on the third block. I have, I think, 4 mini sections to go, with the section that has the most pieces in like the 2x1 inch area is 8 pieces of fabric, I believe, of the group that I have left. And then I'll be able to sew all 31 tiny little pieces into a bigger block, much like this. So I'm working on the bottom of the rose and the stem now, so I'm getting to add some greens to the mix, which is awesome because it's my favorite. And we definitely have some hunter greens in the color of the stem. So I am doing really good. I have been keeping to, I'm actually, knock on wood, and you never know what life's going to throw at you, but I'm ahead of schedule, which is very exciting, of what I want to get done for Mini Rose, Sail Away, and Mini Skullover. I have not started Mini Skullover yet, but I will be starting that very soon. Yeah, the tech issues. You know, when I started sewing 2.5 years ago now, and the first people I watched, aside from kind of like the ones everybody sees, Donna Jordan, Jenny Doan, Kimberly Jolly, like the biggins. I remember starting and watching Stephanie. I think I found Stephanie first, then Soya, then through Soya I found Sobecca, and through Sobecca I found Tiffany of Tiffany's Quilting Life. And so I was watching the 3 of them, and then found Yvette, and then fell in love with FPP, and the rest is history there. But in watching the 4 of them, really, and seeing the struggles that they were having with their technology, I was like, oh, I'm never going to do this. This sounds wretched and just a nightmare. And I now feel their pain. I am thoroughly understanding how just crazy it all is, and that, you know, much like they did, I'm just gonna have to power through it and have fun showing what we work on and get better each time. As I, you know, every time something goes weird, I Google it and YouTube it and start to try to tweak and find a better way of getting the video out and stuff. So it is what it is, as they say, I suppose. Alright, so what I'm going to show next, what we're going to be working on, is the Color Vortex Month 3. So these are the colors we're adding. Sorry for the bit of the glare. I'm going to turn it this way so you can see the colors a little bit prettier. This is Month 3. Again, it's 4 blocks, so this shot is of the entire section sewn together, the four blocks sewn all together. So that's what we're going to be working on. I'm going to do this, and I again apologize for the weird sketchiness of the picture, but we're gonna work with what we've got. Oh, I appreciate that, Melissa. Thank you. Oh, and Marianne too. Thank you very much. Yeah, it was fun to do, and I know I've said it, but when you I felt the same way when I was in the kitchen working as a chef. When you have really great tools, it's really easy to look good and look like you know what you're doing. So I think the quilter slide locks are really great tools to have, and help make me, and will help everybody else be much cleaner in their cuts, which means cleaner blocks going together as you're putting the pieces together. So I think it's a big deal, and I'm really excited to have them. So yes, we're going to work on, so I'll keep my hands out of it. It's a little bit clearer now that nothing's moving. It's like the bit rates are off or something. And yes, I now know what a bit rate is. Lordy. But that's what we're going to be working on. I am going to switch back to the other camera just to show off previous months. So if you guys remember, month 1 was these gorgeous greens. And so this was the 4 blocks for month 1 that we finished up. And I'm keeping them, I'm going to do them in their 4s, so in the quadrants, but I'm not yet going to put those together, because I think I'm going to put them in larger 4 patches of the, the 4s and 4s. And this is month 2. Oh, I love the darker greens. These are making me happy. So that's month 2. Now we're on to month 3. But yeah, I think I'm going to do them up in these groups of 4, and then do those 4 patches in larger 4 patches. So that is going to mean I'm going to need to wait for rows 3 and 4 to put those larger 4 patches together, which is okay. That totally is cool. That's what we'll do. All right, so I think I'm going to do, well, if the sound is off, this might get distracting. But with the funky picture, this might get distracting. But we're gonna do what we can. And I'm gonna put this to the side. Oh, this is the storage for the month. Each month blocks, papers, and everything is in this guy. So I'm gonna put this up here so I remember to file him away. I changed some things up this month. I did a little pre-cutting, which is, I don't regularly pre-cut. I will actually, I'm not going to say too much about that right now. I'm going to talk a little bit further about pre-cutting and not pre-cutting for FPP in my my podcast Wednesday night. Hi, kitty. But for us, in order for everything to come together quickly enough, I went ahead and pre-cut the fabric. Kitty, you're gonna, no, don't lay down there, bud. Come on. Oh, yes. Keep going. No, not on me. Keep going that way. There you go. Now he's found his spot. Woohoo, that's Harmonica. Coming to say hello. Oh, he's a mess. He's so funny. He forgot that I had come downstairs, and he was at the top of the stairs just screaming for me earlier. It was pretty funny. He's a goofball. Alright, cat hair everywhere now. Alright, so, yes, I pre-cut fabric this time so that I could start showing how to put the blocks together. I did sew 2 blocks. Oh gosh, that really looks funky. I did sew the 2 blocks that had just 2 pieces. I put them together. And so this is CA. And then the orange, I'm so excited about, is D2A. So when we get to those pieces, I'll show I'll show the way you really should do it. And then I'll show the way that I've decided that I do it. And give you the absolute artistic license to determine which works easiest for you, which way works best for you, which way stresses you out less, and which way you're happiest with the results. So we'll talk about that when we get to putting the blocks together. But I'm going to go ahead and get started on sewing these up, and I will be checking the chat. Yes, Kitty is very attention hungry. I keep saying that I'm gonna have to get the cats their own cats, like get a kitten for them, so that they will have something to entertain them, because they don't really mess around with each other anymore, unless they're tormenting their mom. That's a whole game in and of itself for them. Which, I mean, if you have kids, you know that to be true. Alright, so this is part D2, and it's all the oranges, which is exciting. Have you all that are sewing up the block each month for the Legit Kits block of the month, have you all run into any issues? Has it been pretty smooth sailing? Their hope, very much with this, is that it is easier. It's supposed to be an entry level, welcome to Legit Kits, this is who we are type of sew along. Well, type of block of the month, with us making it a sew along because we're awesome. But have you run into any areas where you've, like, you know, run into an obstacle and then you've figured something out that's worked for you, and now that's in your toolbox? That's a tool in your kit. Alright, so I went ahead and pinned, because piece 1 is pretty large and so kind of floppy. So I pin it in the corner to help hold it in place as I'm sewing section 2 and section 3 on. But we're going to do section 2. Which is this guy here. It's the fun orange. Looks like a tie. And again, I am a natural light user. Ooh, looks like we're going to have a storm. That'll be fun. Either the natural light coming in through the window, or my light over here to help me make sure that the piece is covering the entirety of the paper and covering what it should be covering, so that when I sew it up, I will be happy with the results. All right. Ooh, so, okay, well, either you all are not running into any issues, which is truly my hope, because I think Legit Kits really worked very hard on making this really their most beginner friendly, or you guys just don't want to share what craziness you've gotten yourselves into, which is also acceptable. May get a little loud, so I'm just going to zip it and move quickly. Shelly, you're still in the organizational stage, and that is totally okay. I was saying earlier, I think, you know, every stage I'm in of the of the process, from unboxing it or unkitting it or whichever, unenveloping it, to organizing it, to the sewing of it. Every piece is my favorite piece, whatever one I'm working on right then. Oh, it's not loud. Awesome. That's good. Ingrid says, hasn't run into any issues. Still trying to figure out the best way to organize everything. Yep. That is totally a process. And I think will probably be something that I work on and get better at for the, entirety of doing the FPP stuff. There are other designers that things I want to do, and I think, I'll figure out some new ways to do things. I remember I was a big Bobby Flay fan. I still am, although he's just kind of, I don't know, too big for his britches. But he said in an interview that when he was in school, he never understood why everybody was like, oh, you have to use white pepper in a white sauce and blah, blah, blah. But he's like, well, I'll learn it the way they teach me it so I can pass this class. But when I have my own place, I'm going to do what I feel is best. And, white pepper isn't always the best for a recipe. So for the recipes of putting FPP and other, pieced things together, I'll do what works best for me until I find something else, figure something else out. Hi, Christine. Ooh, Russ, what's the other project? Well, when you're done cutting, come back and let us know what the next project is. If you all didn't get a chance to watch last night, Russ of Quilt Meets World, I will have his channel, put down here in the description. Ooh, Ingrid, if you could, go ahead and do Russ's link. That would be very helpful when you're done. If you're in the middle of sewing something, but when you're done, that would be very cool. But I'll also link it in the description. Hey there, Terry. But Russ was on last night with Stephanie Stitches on her channel, and they were finishing up Socialites 2. They each had a couple of blocks just to get through. So it looks like Russ finished that and is now jumping right into the next thing. Man after my own heart. Ooh, that's nice, Shelly. I like that. Hanging files in the milk crate. That's very cool. I remember the baby quilt tops, and I did hear you talk about that you were doing the pair of lap quilts. So that's what you're starting to cut. That's cool. Fun times, Russ. Wow. Look at you, Russ. 3 quilts for the same family. They must be a pretty rockin' family. Alright. So that's 2. Now on to 3. Oh, here. I'll do that. So there's 2. Once the video catches up and clears up a little bit, I'll show you that nice and pretty. Oh, thank you, Ingrid. Appreciate that. Hey, Katie. So, yep, that is with fabric 2 on. And now on to fabric 3. Grab scissors, trim this extra back a little bit. what I did find in doing cutting the fabric beforehand to be ready for today, which is not, my normal way of doing it. I was definitely cutting more generously in the fabrics, so I was having to pay much more attention to the recommended cutting layout doing it this way than when I cut as I go. And so I thought that was pretty interesting, that it was actually, not harder, just different for my brain to wrap around how the fabric is going to look once it goes together. I guess when I'm cutting as I go, I'm lining it up with the piece that was there before it, and I'm able to get very precise, 1/4 inch based on exactly what is already there, not what I hope will be there. And that ambiguity, that hope that amount will be there, I then cut even more generously to make sure that I'm really covering myself. So I guess if you are really looking to have lots of leftovers, that might be something to think about in your decision on how you cut the fabrics, if you are a pre-cutter or if you cut as you go. And you may find that you don't have the same problem that I did. And not really a problem, just you didn't run into a similar situation. I just found that I was definitely more worried about not cutting correctly, and so cutting very generously, like Santa Claus. Or like Oprah, where you get a lot of fabric and you get a lot of fabric. But yeah, that's what I noticed doing the fabrics beforehand. I think I figured out in block 1 that trying to keep up with Shannon and cut the wrong piece. Yes, thank you, Tammy, for sure. Look, Tammy is a pro now. Oh, I love it. Yay, Tammy, thank you. Thank you for reminding everybody. That makes me happy. All right, so here is D2B. And I think I'm going to grab D2A. And I'm going to get these trimmed up so that I can show how I put these pieces together. Because I feel that is part of the part that I haven't been able to really get to in our times together when I was cutting the fabric and sewing and chitty-chatting. Alright, so let's trim these up to correct dimensions. Grab my ruler. I really hope this storm doesn't make the internet even wonkier. We've had some pretty good storms the past couple of days. It was like no visibility last night during one of them. I live in a townhouse row, and I've never had it rain so hard that I couldn't see the row behind me, like their backyards or their, decks or pop-up tent, you know, the canvases or the pergolas or whatever they have. And it was raining so hard yesterday I couldn't even see across the way. And it's, I don't know, 40 feet? Pretty crazy. You guys being safe and he was getting rain and thunder there too. Okay. Ooh, Shelly, that's good news. Thanks for sharing that. That is pear tree and labeled the colors. That's important because not everywhere does that. So that's very, very cool to hear about pear tree doing that. Good afternoon, Stephanie. How are you doing today? Oop, didn't get through that. There we go. When I'm trimming, I try to do the shorter pieces first, because that then makes the longer pieces shorter by getting rid of the shorter pieces beforehand. But that has absolutely no bearing on how well you trim the blocks. That's just a me thing. I have just gotten in the habit of doing that. Boop. There we go. Alright. Or the top of, bottom of block D. All set. Awesome oranges. Crazy video picture. I just realized that there was an update to my little sound and video mixing board last week. And I'm now wondering if these new issues oh gosh, maybe it was 2 weeks ago. Maybe it was even before last week's live. I wonder if these new issues are because of that update. I'm gonna have to look into that. I might have to back out the update and either try it again or see if I can squeak by without whatever updates they thought were going to make things better. But I had not thought of that this morning. That could easily explain why things are being weird. Updates tend to never go as smoothly as you think they're going to go. I deal with that in my job. Alright. One more side after this side. Right? Updates. Blah. Hey, Cheryl. Oh, I take it you had a visitor in bed last night? Yes, down dates. It's incredibly frustrating. but while it is frustrating that it is high on the probability scale that it is the update that did something, it also makes troubleshooting a whole lot easier. Where just this morning I was like, I have no idea where to start. Now, remembering that, I've got something to focus on. So hopefully I'll be able to make it either revert or, you know, reinstall the update, and maybe that'll kind of make everything mesh together again, because we've got weird audio and video happening. All right, so now the recommended way to put pieces together, and I might, even though the audio is a little wonky, I might switch it to full just so I can show you this way as well. There are these gray lines are the seam allowance, and these white lines are their magic white lines where you're going to match them up with the edges of your fabric. Other recommendation is to put a pin in these corners and match them. Ooh. So you'll stick a pin in here, right in the corner. All right, I might go back to overhead, even though it's going to be funky. So you stick a pin right in the corner. And I'll try to hold off just a bit so that the picture clears up. You can see that the pin is right in that corner, and then you match that pin. You want to come through the other piece in its respective corner. Again, I've got old woman eyes. Ooh, that was a big thunder. If I look a little cross-eyed, I apologize. There we go. And so pinning is the recommended way to make sure your blocks line up perfectly. And if there are a lot of seams within the block that are all matching, I do actually recommend the pinning, and it has helped me make sure that those multi-layers meet up precisely where they're supposed to. But once I've got my one end pinned, I will then reach for my clips. I am a big Wonder Clip proponent. I don't know if they do affiliate deals, but I feel like the majority of us should be getting some kickback for all of the quote clips that we use. Especially if you're a bag maker. I really, in the bags that I've made, quote clips are amazing. So if you're using vinyl, you know, things that you can't really put cork, you can't really put pin, you can, but they'll leave holes and stuff that is not recommended. So the quote clips come in handy. And there we go. So then I futz around and make sure, so yeah, when I pull this a little bit straighter, I don't feel like all of these line up precisely. So let's do it again. We want to get as close as possible to perfection. Alright, let me move my machine over a wee bit. Ooh, 2 a.m. Oh, Shelly slept like a starfish. That is such a cute visual. Yeah. I think they should make teenagers cuter. I feel like I could handle what they do a lot better. Teenagers and young 20-year-olds. Ooh, that was a big lightning. Oh, we are about to get some good storms. I love a good storm. Alright, now I'm going to wheel this down. I feel like this camera has frozen. Oh, there we go. Okay, it caught up. Now I see my hand. Alright. So I rolled the needle up or downer wheel. I know it has a real name, but I will forever call it needle up or downer wheel from now on. So that the needle is in place and holding the fabrics together. And then slow and steady. Just take your time. Make sure you're following the 1/4 inch line. Sing yourself a song. Hum some tunes. There is no rush to get it done. Alright, my machine is making noises at me. That's a noise. Ingrid and I really have to get our machines to spa day. Woo, especially before... Well, this isn't the machine that I would bring to the nut house, so I guess that's not necessarily a true statement that I was just thinking about making there, but she needs to get to the spa anyway. She's making some funny noises. Earlier she was skipping stitches. Lordy. Yeah, I love a good storm. Some of my... Alright, girlfriend, geez. Some of my favorite memories with the kids, we would turn out all of the lights in the house, and we would put blankets and pillows, oh, it's really coming down now, on the ground, and we'd open up the blinds when we lived in an apartment when we first moved up here to Frederick. Open up the blinds, and we would lay down, and we would watch the storms, the rain come in. She is sassy. All the lightning. Some good memories. Some very good memories. Boom. There we go. Let's see. Oh! Alright, I will sit here and wait for this crazy digitized screen to stop, but that makes me happy. I am happy with that meeting of the colors. I'll iron her up, and I'll show it on the main screen. So when I'm putting the blocks, whether it is block A to block B, or the pieces of a single block together, I always remove the paper. Once I'm happy with the way the seams have come together, I remove that paper, and then I iron those seams open. So the seams in between each blocks, the seams in between the pieces of the blocks, and that's true of just about every situation. In the mini rows, there are a lot of areas where many fabrics come together, and some of the little pieces where all those pieces come together, you then join with like the background of blue, where that is only a single piece of fabric. In those cases, I will iron to the side that has the fewest amount of fabrics coming together. It lays so much flatter, It doesn't cause a little hump in the seam on one side. So that is the one time in bringing the seams together for the FPP that I'll go from one side or the other. Generally speaking, I will do open. Now, if you are and I have not done this, I haven't practiced this, if you are an FPPer who works on the freezer paper, you're gonna have less issues because you're not actually keeping the paper in, and you can flip your seams easier before you're bringing all those pieces together. But that's not a process that I have done yet, so I can't really speak to it in any sensible way. Definitely spa day. Oh, Shelly, I use, this is again one of the, figure out what works best for you kind of things. I use the Monopoly. Here we go. I'm going to go one camera. I use the Monopoly Superior Threads monofilament clear. They're clear. I think they have like a dusk or like a I don't know, like a gray. But I use they're clear. I have decided to use them because of the way I iron and the fact that I am extremely, extremely picky and particular about not being able to see the thread when I am ironing my pieces down. And I have admitted I am an aggressive ironer or presser or whatever. I always end up between the magic juice and the clapper, I always end up, even using the really small stitch length, I always end up being able to see any color thread that I use. However, I do sacrifice the being able to see the thread if it is a project, FPP or not, where it's something that'll be like washed a lot and stuff will be used, because I don't really know like what the strength is of the monofilament. And so if it's like a blanket that you're always like stretching and wrapping around you and it's going through, picnics and things like that, I don't know that I trust the monofilament stuff. But for like a wall hanging and like the mini rose that's going to be in a picture frame, completely perfect. Hey Darlene, how are you doing? I love the pink wavy hands. Do I not get those because I'm usually on a Apple device? Yeah, the medium gray. In all other circumstances, I use Aurifil 2600 or Deco Bob, which is Wonderfil. They're really tiny. They're 80 weight, really tiny thread in the same color like the Dove Gray, the really light gray. So yeah, if you're thinking gray, a light gray is a really good neutral to use for pretty much all the colors, and so you don't have to switch back and forth, especially in something this colorful. That would be the way to go. I would absolutely recommend that. Oh, yay! Look at her. Woo! So that's D2, all set. All right. For the next pieces, I'm going to go ahead and talk a bit, but not stop so much as I'm sewing, so I can get the rest of the pieces done. So then I can sew all 4 blocks into the main 4 patch. So that is the goal for the rest of the hour. Oh, Donna, looking at your top left shelf. Okay, what is it? Top left for me, which is, this is the thatched rainbow. It's got to be, right? It's got to be that. This side is my 24-inch clapper, which I love so much. But I don't know why it's down here, because my bigger ironing board is upstairs, so she needs to go up there. But yeah, this is all thatched, which is a lot of fun. This is, I don't remember, but it's also in rainbows. It's got like the watercolor drops on it. This is Alice in Glass and Juicy Juice down here. Oh, exciting. All right, here we go. Time to get to work. But the rest of the pieces that I need to sew, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. They all only have 3 pieces of fabric. This is why this is such a great intro to FPP, beginner-friendly kit to work on. It is. A nice dip your toe in the waters of FPP. Alright. So again, I'm just pinning this first piece down to keep it in place. And apparently, I can't follow my own rules, and I can't shut up and sew. This is what I do whether you guys are here or not. I'm constantly talking to myself. Oh yay, get to add the acid lime. Alright. Good to go, good to go. Maybe I can scoot it back a little bit. Oh, Shelly, you don't need to switch. You're good to go. Just don't be a lunatic when you're ironing, like me. Oh, well, fudgesicles. I just unthreaded my needle. There we go. back a little bit. Oh, all of the Vegas. Oh, my wall of shame. My own wall of shame. Oh, all the stuff I bought that night is just insane. Once all of this self-imposed deadlines that I've put on myself are done, I'm really looking forward to the strips, the Vegas strips, to sew some things up. Uh-oh. I think I've made a boo-boo. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take that out. Alright, so I'll save that till the end. In rethreading my machine, I let piece 1 shift too much, to the point that it is no longer in the seam allowance down here. So I'm gonna put this one to the side and work on the next one, and I will fix that at the end. Just need to remember to ensure that I'm rechecking the fabric when it unthreads like that. Gotta make sure that my stuff is in line correctly. That's alright. I caught it now before I started cutting everything. That would have been tragic. These bigger pieces can be on this block D1. They can be frustrating how much they move around. But for that one, that was my mistake for not readjusting after the thread came out. But no worries. If you all have been sewing legit kits, or if you've been sewing with Kona cottons, have you noticed, it's cool to me, just a cool aside to me, that you can really tell the differences between the fabrics and what they've had to do in the dyeing process. Because this color, this DK, the darker yellow that's in the back, yellowy orange, it feels so much thicker than the acid lime that's underneath of it. It's really neat. I don't know. I find it cool. I like the science of all that kind of stuff. What about the dyes that go into making duck yellow thicker? Why it makes it thicker? Did it come out again? Alright, y'all. Someone's about to... I feel like I'm being punked today. Do you have days like that where you're just like, okay, where are the cameras? Where are my kids who are punking me for sure, making today just dreadful? Like, come on, show yourselves. That's my day to day. there was a time that I would have been perfectly happy to have Ashton Kutcher jump out and say, "You're pumped." Where did the net go for the threads? I'm gonna bet you a cat stole it. That would be also my luck today. All right. Let's see if she cooperates this time. I do have a gremlin today. Yeah, the Vegas strips are awesome. The funky people. This is my Mother's Day gift. Oh, I need to. Don't look at that. need some Swiffer dusters going around. This is the Lord of the Rings Lego set, the fun ones. So I'm a big old nerd, and my son got me for Mother's Day, and the Frodo and Gollum in the back was a part of my birthday present, and then Arwen and Aragorn and Gandalf and the Balrog were a part of my Mother's Day gift. So I'm a big nerd, but I'm not so much of a big nerd that I like putting all these things together. So he puts a lot of them together for me, but we worked together on the peoples. But my birthday Christmas combo gift was Lego came out with the whole Rivendell set that comes with the whole the whole Fellowship of the Ring. So it's got a little Lego person for everybody. It's even got a couple of extra just rando elves and a random dwarf too, I'm pretty sure. That's upstairs. That's some of my. I love that. It's upstairs where I can see it when I'm in bed, when I'm watching Lord of the Rings. I can have my own Rivendell. It's a lot of fun. All right, so we are rethreaded. We should be cooking with gas today, or now, but we'll see. It is a day. But I'm happy to have potentially solved why things are being weird in the video realm. This is a big seam, and I really need to find that net, because it is not wanting to play nicely. Yes, I've seen that. Oh, that's true. I remember all the precious memories things. Very true. Oh, yep, Russ. Did you see my collection of Lego Lord of the Rings, folks? I'm doing Art East Quilt Studios, Alice in Wonderland, and Sean from The Guy Who Sews is finishing up their Wizard of Oz, which I think I'm gonna end up getting because I love the Wizard of Oz. I was in 6th grade. I was the Scarecrow in our elementary school play. So I love the Wizard of Oz, but I hope that like their next sew along is Lord of the Rings. I would be very excited about that. Wonder if I can slip that in. That would be so cool. Oh my gosh, I would be so excited about that. What I like about the Lord of the Rings movies is that while they are different than the books, they are not, they don't do all of the things that have happened in the books. They're close enough that it doesn't make me mad. Like the Harry Potter stuff, the changes that they made to Hermione and Ron annoyed me, and yeah. I don't always like the liberties that movie makers make, but I'm a huge fan of the books of Tolkien, and I feel like the movies do a pretty good job of staying pretty true, considering time constraints and things of that nature. Yeah, the series is going to be interesting. I don't know. Plus, that chick is so problematic. Makes me frustrated. Could you imagine sewing up to a little Gollum? So cool. I think where a lot of the traditionalists with Lord of the Rings disagree with me is I liked Arwen. I liked her having a bigger role. I love Liv Tyler, Steve Tyler, because she's Steven Tyler's daughter. Yeah, I love her. I liked her added role. I think the what's her name? Oh, now I'm not gonna be able to remember her name. Oh God, what is her name? The elf chick that fell in love with Keeley in the Hobbit series. I could have done without that. I don't think I needed that part to be added, but I did enjoy Arwen. Right? My precious. Woohoo! That'll be so fun. I am absolutely failing at shutting my mouth and sewing, but it's fun to think about sewing that stuff up. For the Lord of the Rings, we definitely have to use the metallic fabric that Sean is using for Wizard of Oz. Have to use that up for especially the ring and let's see what else. Oh, they could do the vial. Oh gosh, that would be cool. That Frodo had. I can't remember what the name of the star is. I'm failing in all of my Lord of the Rings trivia. Because, I'm live and... Right? Yeah, but that was like, that dude is a good actor. And yeah, he was just a pain in the tush. So my lovely friends, I have yet again made a sewing mistake, and that I didn't line it up the way I should have. My Sunday is just not working out the way I want it to work out. You guys are going to see me seam rip. Why is today? You know what it is. I jinxed myself yesterday. I was having a convo with Lauren, my oldest, and I was telling them that I truly feel where I am in my life right now. I turned 50 in February when I'm going to be going to QuiltCon. I am having the time of my life in doing this, being on YouTube with all of you. I am having the time of my life with my improv troupe. And I was saying, I am quite possibly, aside from the birth of you and your brother, the happiest I have ever been in my adult life. I feel so at peace with where I'm at and so happy to have worked so hard to get where I'm at, and be reaping some of the benefits of that hard work, which is always exciting. And so the gremlins were like, "Oh, you're happy, are you?" We'll see about that, lady. That's true. I do have great company while I seam rip. Bye, Shelly. Have such a good rest of the day and a wonderful 4th of July. There may be a surprise on the 4th of July that I'm working on. Hi, Jennifer. Yep, that's right. I'm reveling in the happiness, Jennifer. Thank you. No, didn't Legolas's mom, didn't she die? I thought it was implied that she died by the dragon in the movies. That was not in the books, but I thought it was implied that she had died by a dragon when Legolas's father got his face all mangled up. So, I'm going slowly so I don't do any rips into the fabric, because sometimes with the really small stitch length, the knifey part of the seam ripper really just doesn't know what it's supposed to be catching. Is it supposed to be catching thread, or is it supposed to be catching fabric? So I try to go a little bit slower when I'm seam ripping on a 1.2 stitch length. When I normally sew, when I piece pieces together for like cotton cuts and other things like that, I do sew at a small stitch length, but I do it at a 1.8, and the seam ripper does not seem to have as much problems there. And this is a good and sharp seam ripper. I got this as a set from, I don't know if I talked about her last week too, from T Quilts. She has seam ripper sets which are really pretty, and it is a fabulously sharp seam ripper. And she these sets, you can, because they come out, wow, you can order replacement ones for when it goes dull, and you still have your seam ripper in the pretty colors, and it has an awl point and two. Oh no, I can't find. Yeah, Yeah, Julie, that really could be it. He annoyed her to death. She finally sacrificed herself to the dragon. Forget this. Oh, what did I just start watching on? Oh, I started watching Cold Case Files on Netflix, I'm pretty sure. And I went back and started re-watching British Bake Off, because you can never watch those too many. I can rewatch British Bake Off over and over and over again. I did start listening to a new podcast. I don't know if anybody is fans of Will Arnett, Sean Hayes, or Jason Bateman, but they have a podcast called Smartless, and they had released some of their live tour where they videotaped and, around the country, and I started watching that, and the three of them are just hysterical to me. So I started listening to that podcast. So now I've got some shows that I'm watching and some podcasts that I'm listening to as I'm working on my legit kits. I know, we need a new season. So this last season was very problematic, and I don't think the people that were baking were that good. I'm just gonna say it. They're in England. What are they gonna do? They can't find me. I was not pleased. I didn't think any of them were that great. I thought their showstoppers at the end, their last one, I thought those bit the big bullet. I was not excited about them at all. Oh, Smartless, yes. The Midas Touch. Ooh, I don't know about that one. Yeah, Smartless is hysterical. I just started, so I've gotten through just the first two of listening to them after watching the videos. So funny. But so I listened to Dax Shepard. That man has an incredible life story, and he is so smart. And I have listened to his podcast too, so I thought that was very cool. And Melissa McCartney, who I like much better than her cousin. Those were two really good episodes. Three, because Neil deGrasse Tyson I also listened to. Oh, so I've listened to three of them. Exactly! Those top three, while I liked them as human beings, the thing I really love about the British Sewing Bee and the British Bake Off is how for everybody they are. Like, they of course they want to win, but they always wish each other really, they wish no ill. There's no, really backbiting or competitive, disgustingness, and so I really like that. And so they're beautiful people, but I don't think any of the three of them deserved to be in the final. But who else were you going to pick? Because they were definitely just the best of the worst. What are you going to do? Hi, Philippa. Ooh, that sounds like a good chocolate cake. Oh, Russ. Lauren loves The Good Place. Says I should watch it. I do like Kristen Bell. I love Tony. I was going to call him Tony Danza. Well, not that I don't like Tony Danza. That's funny. Oh no, now I can only think of Tony Danza. So he's going to be Tony Danza for the rest of his life. I get to watch Great British Sewing Bee because of using a VPN. So I'm not binging that. I'm binging it in the way that I'm watching it with everybody else as it comes out on BBC4. Um, so I'm excited about that. I love how big they are in the reduced textile waste venue. Um, and I love like this past week was sewing for the little kids, which was adorable. The final was sewing up little party dresses, which were so pretty. So yeah, the challenges are fun, and I like hearing of the different ways they refer to things, and the different ways that, like, I've always known that the British folks say things absolutely crazy, like oregano and aluminium. Philippa, I don't know if Australians say it that way too, having, such a strong British background in history and all that sort of stuff, but if you do, it makes me giggle, and I enjoy hearing it. But they also say, instead of applique, they say applique. It's just so cute. It makes me happy. And I like that they call sweaters jumpers. Yeah. And pretty, like, no, dress up clothes, like, that you would, like, play dress up, like be a dragon or whatever, they call fancy clothes. I don't know why. It makes me so happy. Alright, this is going much slower than I was hoping. I appreciate y'all hanging out and suffering through it with me. I think what's going to have to happen after this is I'm going to have to order some Jamaican food. I'm going to have some brown stew chicken and some cocoa bread and some beef or chicken pasties. And I'm going to have to sit and watch some mindless TV and pretend like today hasn't happened. I had big plans on showing you all sewing up all 4 of these blocks. And thus far, it has not gone to plan. But I sure do appreciate you guys hanging out. I love talking to everybody every Sunday. It is a highlight of my week, to be sure. It's pretty darn cool that I get to hang out with folks from all over the place. All over this country, all over other countries, through the technology that hates me today. It makes the world much smaller. Alright, I'm going to put it down and see if I can convince the rest of it just to slide through. Because having it down sometimes makes that part easier. Nope, not today, sir. What did I miss? Oh, the good place? Yeah. Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah. So Thursday nights are improv troupe rehearsals. and we were talking about um, we were talking about different weird things that had happened to us, and that someone had heard that when you go through like a near-death experience, there are some folks that think you actually did, you know, you've splintered the timeline, and in an alternate universe, you are no longer around, and in this universe is like a new timeline. And so I just thought that was fascinating, because as a kid I was an idiot, and there was many a time that I should have been far more hurt than actually happened. As far as my grandmother was concerned, it was my guardian angel who was working overtime and getting well paid to take care of me. But I thought the idea of there's just, countless numbers of other universes, very much in the, Spider-Man Across the Multiverse kind of thing, or that movie, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, which just makes my brain hurt to think about being real, but it is a fascinating thought. But it's just fascinating to think that there might be a gazillion things. Oh, that would be so fun. Just watching Lord of the Rings with my besties. Come on. Do, do, do. There we go. All right. Remix. Oh, you know what would be fun to watch again? I haven't watched in a while. Is Hamilton. Saying remix reminded me of Rewind. All right. So how did I manage to not have that covering the entirety? What did I do? Looks good there. Looks good there. Feels right there. Oh, I feel like it's too close down here. All right, some finagling and some fiddling needs to happen. I'm going to scooch this down a wee bit. Stephanie, I could use your new light box right now. Alright. Feels good there. Feels good there. Alright, I think I got it. I think I've got it. We are about to find out together. Hold it all together so it doesn't unalign just to drive me crazy. Oh, Philippa, not familiar with Jamaican food. So, it can, absolutely. Jerk chicken is it can be very spicy. You can request spice levels, much like you would like at an Indian restaurant or, Chinese, the level of Szechuan that you can handle. So things can be rather spicy, for sure. But They're the things like the beef hand pies, and chicken and vegetable are usually not too spiced. Um, the chicken curry can be pretty spicy. And I'm saying pretty spicy in terms of bland American palates. Traditionally, we're very boring with our palates, and we're not very usually very good with seasoning things the way other food cultures do. So what some folks find spicy, I feel like because of where I've grown up and the amount of different types of, because I grew up right outside of DC in Wheaton, Maryland, we had access because of all of the diplomats and wanting to cater to all of the diplomats. We had so much access to more traditional cultural food. So I've grown up in a really good spot for really good food, which is probably a lot of the reason why I decided to go to culinary school. It is definitely a curry. It is a different curry to an Indian curry, but it is definitely a curry. The brown chicken stew is like a brown gravy, but not in the terms of gravy like poutine gravy or mashed potatoes and gravy. It more stew than gravy-esque. So good. The collards are amazing. So they call it peas and rice, but it's the bean that they use. They call a pea. Super good. So amazing. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think that there is a type of food that, a country's food that I wouldn't try. And so far, there hasn't been a country's food that I haven't liked something from. My grandmother was German, not a huge German food fan, but Wiener Schnitzel is top notch. My dad's family is from the South, so there's some good food stuffs happening in the South. Very spoiled with that. And then, growing up in the DC metro area, I mean, I was 12, 10, 11, no, probably 12, 6th grade, maybe 5th grade, when I tried sushi for the first time. I had eaten Ethiopian food and real Chinese food, like tripe and things like that, and real dim sum with like chicken feet and stuff like that. Curry goat. Oh, and oxtails. Oh, my sister at her wedding reception had it catered, and it was Jamaican. Well, it was Caribbean, mostly Jamaican food. And the oxtails were to die for. I went back 3 times. 3 times for oxtails. It was incredible. The best food. Thai. Love Indian. Yes, love all of those. Oh, Stephanie, you had some really good Indian food up in Halifax. That looked and sounded amazing. We have a new place that opened up here that does both northern and southern Indian cuisine. And they actually do a pretty good job, because it can be difficult because they have that country is so large, and they have such different influences based on where they're from. It can be very difficult to specialize in both. And then as you start getting to the middle of the country, they start using different foods based on the countries that they've been influenced by. But yeah. I could talk about food all day long. Anthony Bourdain passing away was possibly one of the most, like, just devastating things. He opened everybody's eyes up to all the different cultures and how food and music and humor brings everybody together. Oh, Sterling, Virginia, that's just right down the road. Oh, yay, success, success, success. Woohoo! I was worried, since I'd already trimmed it, that I was going to have a hard time getting it to fit over the seam allowance, but we are good to go! Excellent. Yep. That was hot. Good stuff. Yeah, Anthony Bourdain was, I mean, he was an absolute prat, but he was an absolute gem at the same time. I don't know how he was able to do that, but his traveling and bringing us in to all of the foods of the world was amazing stuff. And I know, like, other chefs have tried to do similar things. Like Gordon Ramsay tried to do a show after Anthony had passed away. Look, I'm talking to him like I know him personally, but after he passed away, Curtis Stone had tried to do something similar, and I like both of those chefs very much. Curtis Stone is married to one of my absolute favorite actresses, but I just don't think they have the same childlike wonder that Anthony Bourdain had when he was going and doing that stuff. I sound so preachy. Hi, Johanna. Oh, in Williamsport. Oh, very cool. You lived over the bridge, huh? I used to work in Springfield and went to culinary school. Actually, I did a year-long program. It was like it was 12 months, 13 months if you count when we graduated. But in Leesburg is where I went to culinary school. It was a Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. It was a full-time job doing school that way. A lot of fun though. But yeah, I have fond memories of Northern Virginia. Piece 3 goes this away. Oh, this cantaloupe, I think, is this color. I love the orange. It is also a thick dye feel to it. Feels thick. Make sure we're all lined up. There we go. I remember when I was working in Springfield, it was when I was a restaurant manager, and I lived in Damascus, which is far away from Springfield. But I was a young whippersnapper then, and driving back and forth down 270, down 495 to 95, just didn't seem like it was that big a deal when I was in my early 20s. Excellent. This piece worked out perfectly. Oh man, yeah. Yeah, DC Metro traffic is no joke. It doesn't matter the day, the time of day. It doesn't matter if there's a holiday or there's not a holiday. It just doesn't matter. It's so gross. And I know other states and other areas have really bad traffic too, but it's just living in the big city area, stressful for the traffic. And then my mom recently moved from where we grew up, but going back down there when she still lived in my childhood house, that traffic was so bad, and I was like, oh, how did we deal with this? You just do, I guess. Oh, I like Reston. I have a friend that lives in Reston right now. All right. I'm going to trim this block up. Keep my fingers crossed that everything really turned out okay. I guess that's the trade-offs for living in such a big city, and you get access to amazing foods because of all the people that come to live here, live and work here, but whew, you got to live with all the people that come to live and work here. And that is not necessarily fun. Yeah, Lauren works in DC. So they go from here up in Frederick, and they go into DC it's a, yeah, it's, I don't want to do that anymore, but again, the younger set can have it, and so they can handle that at their young whippersnapper age. Gotta get through some layers on this one. There we go. All right. I don't know, folks that do FPP and do legit kits. I don't know if you follow Cranky Kangaroo, Jamie Horn. Yes. I have watched her, of course, because she's prolific in her legit kit making. But she does, the way she sews everything together, and I think this has a lot to do with the fact that she's been a production sewer. Like she is a real seamstress. But she doesn't trim her blocks as she goes. Like she has all of the fabrics just hanging out over the seam allowances and stuff. And so she pins, using the corners and the white magic lines and everything. And I swear to you, my eyeballs twitch every time I see it, because for her, you can absolutely tell it is fast for her to do it, but it is so so messy. It's so messy. I can't do it. I tried it once. I think it's Sail Away. I was like, oh, I want to be like Jamie. No, I don't. I couldn't understand it. It just didn't work for my noggin. Hi, Nancy. I did a long commute for 3 years. Recently, like the first 2 years of it pre-pandemic, and the last year I was from home because of the pandemic. And I will say that my Audible account was hella excited that I was traveling all that much, because I listened to so many books. I listened to the entirety of Tolkien, the entirety of all of Sherlock Holmes, all of the Hunger Games, all of Harry Potter, all of every series. My favorite fantasy book writer is Mercedes Lackey. I listened to pretty much every one of her books. I listened to a lot of books. But I was on the road 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening. That stuff is just for the birds. Okay, get the feed dogs out of the way, and let's put these two together. Everybody cross your fingers that it's going to be happy for me. There's just no telling today. But I think this will be the last thing I do. I'm going to just sew up D1 and D2 and keep our fingers crossed that it's clean. And then we will call it a day. I'm going to order my Jamaican food. But now I might get oxtails, because Ron was talking about oxtails. I could feel harmonica readjust. He's behind, right down there. And the block is rolling over him, and he's readjusting. Oh. Yay! This is going to be a good spot to end. And look at where the oranges come together. Look at how pretty. Yes. Thank you for allowing the last bit to go together. So this is the bottom of month 3. Month 3's bottom 2 pieces together. So, yay! Very exciting to end on a happy note. I want to thank everyone so very much for being here, for humoring me, for putting up listening to me whine. I'm sorry. I do apologize for that. It's been a day. But having you all here and having you guys encourage me has been such a great motivator, has been so good for my soul. I really appreciate you all so very much. I hope that you will join Stephanie of Stephanie Stitches and I on Tuesday night at 6 p.m. I know it's the 4th of July. Sneak away or just, pull out your phone real quick. We're going to have the next 6 blocks from Quilt Builder Card Deck Box 1. We'll pull those up, and we're going to show off everybody's work from month 2, which is very exciting. I hope during the day on Tuesday I might have a surprise for you guys. So if you happen to see that, hop on when you see it. So if you hit the notifications, you'll know if it comes together, if it works. Thank you all so much for your kind words. It makes me really, really, really happy to be building such an awesome sewing family, quilting family. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Cheryl. Thanks, Ingrid. Did you buy some stuff? That's funny. Yeah, I'm not always the best at remembering what I've gone and bought. Oh, there are few things I enjoy as much as I enjoy putting fabric together and putting them on the little comic book boards. I love it so much. It's so fun. All right, everyone. Thank you all again. I will see you Tuesday, definitely in the evening, possibly early Tuesday morning. And I really appreciate you again for hanging out, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. Bye, everybody. Have a great day, and happy 4th of July, and be safe. Definitely safe.